Is 5:03. Let's call the May 12, 2025 meeting of the Leitchfield Planning Commission to order. The roll call, Commissioner Wes Whitmore.
Here.
Secretary Treasurer Missy Mudd. Vice Chair April Bowman. Chairman Mark Buckles is here. Commissioner Kendall Clemens.
Here.
Commissioner Angela Gibson.
Here.
Commissioner Trent Van Meter.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum on the backside of your agenda. Are the minutes from the April 14, 2025 meeting that you should have received last week and had a chance to review. If you've not, glance at those quickly. And I'll entertain a motion to either accept or amend the minutes as presented or as altered.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes.
Wes has a motion to accept the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Trent. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, unanimous ayes. Okay. Move on down to old and unfinished business. Is there any old and unfinished business? Dave, Tyler, Heather? Okay, that brings us to new business. On your agenda, you see text amendment. Minutes before the meeting began, you received a more elaborate copy of your second page that's attached to your agenda about KRS 100.211 and KRS 100.207. If you were part of the League of Cities training on Tuesday in Owensboro, this became a topic of conversation when Owensboro and Davis County were talking about their joint planning body, and I asked the question when they had an even number of votes cast, what happened in a deadlock, and they said that that didn't happen very often. He explained because they use the alternative approval method to map amendments. So that's basically what this text is suggesting. There's no action to be taken tonight. We're not doing anything tonight. It's been presented to you to review and study and see if this would be a more efficient manner for everyone involved. Did I cover that correctly, Dave? You have anything you want to add?
No, that's just my feelings exactly like yours, that's just something I think would make the city council's job a whole lot easier, making it so much less susceptible to error.
So obviously, if we come back a month from now and we decide this is something we feel strongly moving forward in, it'd go through the official process. Of course, it would have to go through a public hearing. It have to be published. You have to go through a public hearing. There would be a vote before it would be adopted. So we're early in the stages and on the high end of the pipeline as far as it comes to any changes. So feel free to ask questions of Dave in the meantime. I presume we got this far, Tyler. It's something you feel like from the staff perspective, from your colleagues around the state, this is preferred?
I don't know around the state, but if we just follow what KRS says, then it takes a lot of stuff out of the equation that
He's talking about
Could-
he's talking about the one he's talking about this
other
one.
one.
He's not talking about this one.
We just started talking about this today.
Today?
Yes.
I have
Well,
an idea. We want to bring it to you.
we had the seed planted a week ago tomorrow, so I guess we got a head start on you.
You got a head start on that.
All right, is there any other new business we need to talk about?
Yes, we've been asked by the city council to do a zoning text amendment to clear up the discrepancy in the book that we have, the ordinance we have, and so we've done that. Tyler and I put that together. That's what's on your list there. Just a zoning text amendment.
So these are two separate issues, Dave?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we're cleaning up?
Zoning text amendments should be performed to set out in KRS 100-211 and KRS 100-207. 207 is the publication ordinance, and the other is the text amendment ordinance, and follow that right down the line. Of course, if we do this, this is a text amendment. Now, that's not a map amendment. So the map, that alternative method for a map amendment is what I gave you.
Yes.
That's entirely different animal, as you know.
So it appears that then it's just more directly referring to KRS.
It does. It refers to, it actually refers exactly to the KRS.
Is there any action we need to take?
No, we need to state that we would put it on for, we have to have a public hearing on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'd have to have a public hearing on it, but we want to bring it before you so we can, and with your approval, we'll go ahead and schedule it for a public hearing. Tyler will do that.
We don't have to wait a month to review it, right?
No, we do not.
So should we get these, we got 2 people missing, get it to them, I guess, email it to them?
No, we have a quorum. If you,
Oh,
if
okay.
you all decide you want to accept the 2.11 changes to just refer to exactly as, so what you have in front of you is stricken, and then what you have will be its replacement, and basically is just eliminating a bunch of extra language, that the language then that you would find would be in 100.211 and 100.207.
So we can make a motion?
You're at liberty to do whatever you'd like.
Okay, I'll make a motion to,
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Sir, may I approach or ask?
Come,
I just have a question.
okay?
I'm not understanding what, I don't have my ordinance book with me or anything. What is 2.11 or 2.11 dot whatever? Everything's been referred to as numbers instead of actually what it consists of.
Mhm.
What is the, I mean, unless you have the ordinance, I don't guess you can understand what the numbers mean.
You know, I'm sure you're very familiar with the ordinance.
I am.
Yes. And so KRS 100.2111 allows for the alternative regulation for a zoning map amendment.
Okay, but what are you changing in the current city ordinance, or proposing, or thinking about?
It is, in the absence of opposition, make sure I'm in bounds here, Dave. In the absence of opposition, it will get streamlined as being approved rather than having to go through the two
two
different
meetings.
readings.
Well, I think she's talking about 2 different things now. The
Are you
alternative-
talking about the text amendment that we're talking about referring to
I
KRS?
don't really know what you're talking
well,
All right, so what we just got done talking about
where
was,
the city council is supposed to hold a public hearing on a text amendment?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the
what
one
I'm
we're talking
asking.
about.
Is that what you're talking about, is where in the court ordinance on text amendments, that text amendments require 2 public hearings, one by the planning commission and one by the city council,
yes,
correct? That's what it is currently. So now you're going to change that to where you all are just the only ones that do the public hearing?
That's
And
correct.
give public input?
yes.
Correct.
Okay. And I know this, if it's coming, I don't know if I should be able to speak here now or not, but I get tired of trying to figure out when the public hearings are gonna be, so you can make public comment. But if you take that step away, are you not depriving the citizens of Leitchfield to approach the city council, because they may pay more attention to the city council happenings than they do the planning commission happenings? I mean, it's just a extra step that maybe the public is more aware of what's actually taking place on the planning commission side. I'm just throwing it out there. You know, because when you refer to numbers, I don't know, but not the regular public knows that 2.11 or 2.11, whatever, unless they get on their computer and research it right then and there, or look at the current ordinance. They don't know typically what that means. So that's what, I was unclear of what you all were talking about.
In a simplified format, what is happening here is 2.11 of the City of Litchfield zoning ordinance
Oh, see,
has language that spells out the way that has been happening to this point.
exactly.
And what we are considering is making a recommendation to the City of Litchfield to follow the powers granted by KRS 100.2111, which is an alternative regulation for zoning map amendment, which basically, what?
That's 2 different things.
Two different things.
Yeah.
Sorry. But it is 100.211,
Yes,
which does does lay out what is happening as far as the amendment changes.
that's the alternative regulation.
To map, you want to do the text the same as the map amendments.
The text amendments,
The text amendments to do.
not the map. We're not doing anything with the map tonight.
But I mean, you're wanting to go along with the map amendment.
the
You'll
current
still hold a
ordinance
public-
for map amendment, yes.
You'll still hold a public hearing.
With the
and
planning
recommend it to
commission.
the city council. The city council will do 2 readings if they approve
Yes,
the change.
yes,
Okay. So you're wanting to do that with the text amendments along with the maps not being changed? Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right, so, for clarity, This goes over here.
Yes.
It has nothing to do
Yes.
with, okay?
Correct.
It's the same statute.
Right.
It's two different subsections of the same, okay?
Yes.
Wes, you clear?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Kendall, you still want to make your motion?
I don't know whether we might want to wait until the other two are here and have a little more discussion on it. I see Sheila's point, and, you know, if we had everybody here, it might be a little something we might ought to further address, is my opinion.
I think we table it
Yeah,
for questions too,
I
so we
would-
can review it thoroughly.
Yeah, I see Sheila's point, what she's saying. But give it a little more thought probably than just what we've done tonight, possibly, in my opinion.
And this is just to bring our process in line with the current KRSs,
It's
right?
an alternate process.
It's not an alternate, that is just, the current statute states that you have to have a public hearing here.
Right.
We have to have. That's one public hearing. But the city council does not have to have a public hearing if they don't want to.
Yeah, what we're talking about now doesn't pertain
Now, the
to
city
what
council's
what
my
Owensboro
understanding.
talk about.
Correct.
Right.
This is something different, that's
Right.
right.
Understanding that the city council has not been holding a public hearing, and that's the reason they ask us to clear this up.
Well, so we're just talking about the current city
Right.
regulations, putting them in line with the state regulations.
Right,
Yes.
that's correct.
Well, and 2.11 of the city ordinance specifically limits to text amendments. So what you have as attached to your agenda is striking that paragraph, which lays out with a minimum of 2 public hearings, the first held by the planning commission, and the second to be published and held by the city council on text amendments alone.
Now, that doesn't prohibit the city council from holding a public hearing if they so desire. Now, that's important to note.
And because it is a law of the city, it still does have to be accepted
Okay.
by the city council, right?
Not to go down
Yes.
an old road, but within the last 2 years, the city council held a public hearing from the planning commission, right? They actually held one for
It
one of
wasn't
our
for a
zone
text
changes.
amendment.
Huh?
It wasn't for a text amendment, though.
Okay. That was a map amendment, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
This is text only.
So it's happened recently.
Mm,
I mean, within the
It's
last 2
been,
years.
it's been a little over 3 years ago.
Oh, my gosh, okay.
Chairman Buckles, I have one more comment.
And technically, I'm not sure that they have the authority to do that. Probably they don't,
Yeah,
with regard to map amendment.
got it.
The only thing I would like to, another food for thought is, when you're thinking about the decisions that you make, on map amendment, property owners, adjoining property owners are contacted, and they're notified that this is gonna happen. On text amendments, all you have to all you have to rely on is, I'm assuming they still have a newspaper, I don't know, I don't look at the newspaper, is the publication. So you don't have that you don't have that step where everyone is contacted that's gonna be affected by the possible change. If you do away with the public hearing requirement for the city of Leitchfield, for the city council, I'm just thinking that that's just making a loophole there for something to get past, and a lot of people not know what's happening. I'm just thinking, but that's just a food of thought. You all think about it. That's the concerns that I have, is that the less it's put out there, the less people know. The more it's put out there, hopefully the more they know. And like I said, maybe not a lot of people pay attention to what goes on in planning commission meetings and what they're trying to do. Just a food for thought. Thank you.
You know, historically, if you, I've been around a long time, and you'll find that the expertise and the knowledge on KRS 100, most city council members in most cities, not just our city, most cities, there's just not a lot of general knowledge about it. And so my guess is there's some of that allows if you impanel and empower your zoning body to do it and do it well and with knowledge, and you have a working knowledge of KRS 100, you might get better decisions in the end, because when you have people wade into things that they really are not knowledgeable about, that's when things can go astray. And I guess I would offer too is it is important that everyone know what's going on. The difference in what the text amendments involve every property owner, not just a grouping of property owners. They affect all of them, or have the potential to affect all of them in some way. So, okay, I don't hear a motion. Sounds like it's tabled. Sounds good to me. Any other new business? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Kendall with a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Wes with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned.